Hey everybody, have you missed me? Welcome to TJC Gaming, and this is me, TJ. So, I gave the FIA Nations Championship a try. First ever time I tried it, so I thought I'd show you guys what happened, and maybe I can give you guys a few tips if you've never done it before. So, let's get into it. So I honestly cannot believe I've never tried this before. It is really a hell of a lot of fun. You get to do your live qualifying time as you do here, and then you get like a nice long race with some good strategy options, and it's a real good battle to find out where you stack up against people of your similar DR in matchmaking. So in qualifying here, I did a few practice races beforehand, before I came in the lobby, but I should have really practiced more. I will say this, practice. It's really will help you in these sort of races. So I let everyone buy in qualifying because I didn't want to slipstream because of the dirty air. So I'm going to show you my qualifying lap in full here. This corner here, not this one, but this one, yeah, I kind of messed that up at the start. I should have taken a lot more speed through there. I was being a bit cautious. I didn't want the back end to go. So we start the qualifying lap here. I made sure that I had a space from all the other cars so no one could crash in front of me or slow me down. And I did make a few mistakes in this lap. It wasn't perfect, but you are under a lot of pressure, like going wide there in turn one. You are under a lot of pressure to put in a good time. And you generally get time for one good flying lap at the most, because there's no fuel burning in FIA now. So generally you get one good flying lap. If you go out at the very start and just completely cane it, you might have time for two, but really one lap is what I was aiming for. So this is what I did. So coming up to the tight second gear left-hander here. I'm sorry I don't remember the corner names. I've seen Barcelona for many years, but I've never wrote the names, so I do apologize for that. So coming through the left-right, and yeah, it's kind of going okay so far. Excuse me. It was a pretty solid lap, but I could go faster, absolutely, for sure. But I start to catch this player here at the end of the lap, and I do get, I think, like a little bit of his toe on the final straight, which would have been quite beneficial. But I did go for a second lap after this with worn tires, and I was in his toe the whole time, and I thought, well, I'll see if it's going to make me faster or not. But it did not make me any faster. But I was really surprised with my qualifying pace in a good way. So come through the final chicane here. Nailed a bit better, but I need to be on the power a little bit sooner there. And coming through the final turn. And just a little bit of slipstream there, I think. Just a tiny bit. And so far, I end up on second. So eventually, I end up in third place, which, second row, your first time doing FIA live qualifying, hey, I'm not going to complain about that. That's a good result, you know, for me. So I was pretty pleased with that, and I'm going to show you the full intro of FIA because I love this. I think it sounds really good, and for anyone who's not seen it, probably no one, you know, maybe you enjoy seeing it too. But I'll let you watch the intro as well. Yeah, that's pretty epic. I love that opening sequence. So after that, and that really gets you fired up for the race, you get onto the grid here. So you get to run down the full grid like you've seen on the GT Sport live videos. So on pole we have Githu, 136.0, so good time. And we have S Ritano on second. And there's me in third, not too bad, but 1.1 seconds away. So definitely could go faster. I know I could go faster than that. So yeah, so maybe next time I'll put some more work into this and we'll see where we go. Anyway, we're starting third place, and you got to remember that you have cold tires. So your tires are absolutely freezing cold at this point, and really you should be weaving to warm them up, and I did not do that. So that's something else we can take from this. And so we go down into turn 1. Just remember to brake early, just be nice and careful here. Yep, everyone's got through there okay so far. And coming behind the second place guy here, my aim is just to hold on for position for now. Just keep it nice and clean, let my tires get nice and warmed up. However, he does this. Yep, we have another victim of cold tires, and oh, I almost lost it myself. So you can really go be careful with the cold tires in the first stints. So in terms of strategy for this, I went with Key 25 strategy. If you're not on his YouTube, I thoroughly recommend it, the Key 25. And his strategy was 5 soft, 5 soft, 5 soft, 3 on the medium, and 1 lap on the hard tire. So I saw him work that strategy, so I thought, right, I'm going to try this strategy. It seems to be a great strategy. But however, the guy in first place here is on a different strategy than me, and I think he was adjusting his on the fly, being very clever with it. But we'll see how that pans out. So anyway, we're coming towards the close of the lap now, and he's pretty fast on those soft tires. So he started soft tires and I started on soft tires, obviously. I think most people have started on the soft tires due to qualifying, but you can change your tires in between qualifying and the race, depending on what strategy you want to go for. So as you can see that the car wiggling a little bit, I'm just really trying to keep the car on the road at this point and just trying to keep up. That's the main thing. And I'm pulled over here to get the third place guy out of my slipstream. But he's not even interested in taking my slipstream for some bizarre reason. So yeah, okay, that's fair enough. Don't need to worry about him then, really. A little wiggle there over the curbs. So anyway, I went for the GTR 08. Now, this is not my favorite GTR. The more modern GTR actually is the one I've been doing races in previously. But the 08 is meant to be the fastest car. However, for me, I would kind of disagree with this point, because the guy in first place is not in the GTR 08. He's in the, is it the 15 or the 16 one? So yeah, Nissan GTR, yes, but I find the one that he's driving has more consistent handling, especially when the tires are wearing down. And with a race like this with high tire wear, your tires will wear down for sure. So like I say, I just did 1 slot for this, and I thought I'd give this a go. But maybe next time, if there's a Group 2 race, I will not go for the GTR 08. I know that's probably an unpopular opinion, but I find the tire wear, when the tire starts to get low, it can be incredibly unpredictable. So it's always going to like lose you time if you're having to back out the throttle, you know, having the car dancing around behind you with oversteer. I don't mind oversteer at all, but I think that in terms of having the car in a neutral position on worn tires is more beneficial for me and overall race pace. But we'll see how the race pans out anyway. So you know my strategy, and that's what I'm going to go with. And we're going to see the first 3 laps here in full. Then we're going to change to the pit stops, and we're going to see how the race develops. So yeah, he's put down a fastest lap there, and like I said, I'm just trying to keep up with this point, not trying to over push the tires or over push the car or end up in a crash barrier, because that's just not what you want. And we saw the guy who was in second place end up doing that. It's just not ideal at all for your race, obviously. But being as it's a long race, hey, if you spin off and the competition isn't too tightly packed, you might be able to catch up and get some places, but you just don't want to spin at all. I guess that's the whole idea, isn't it? So coming down to the tight tight second gear left-hander, I apologize. Yeah, we're just trying to keep on at this point, but the gap between us seems to be not too fluid. It doesn't expand too much. We seem to have a similar kind of pace, and you'll see that throughout the race, you know. We're on the same tires, the pace is kind of similar between us. I think if I got my qualifying lap a bit better, I would have been either on pole or on the front row just behind this guy. So that's pretty closely matched players. The other part of the race strategy I haven't covered yet is fuel. The fuel wear wasn't too extreme, so doing a few tests and seeing it done on Key 25 stream, you could either do a little bit of fuel saving by short shifting or what have you, or changing the fuel map if you required to, or you could just take a little splash of fuel in the final pit stop. So I decided that is what I was going to do. So anyway, we're coming towards the end of lap 5 now. So remember, I'm doing 5, 5, 5, 3, and then 1 to cover my 19 laps. So I'm going to pit on this lap no matter what. This is going to be the strategy. The tires are wearing down, the lap times are going up. It's now ideal to pit. So the first place guy here, he goes in the pits as well, on the soft tire, just like me. And it seems we're on the same strategy, but I think that he covers me off here in a pretty clever and interesting way. So I go on the soft tire and he goes out on the hard tire. So that's an interesting strategy, because obviously he is 2 compounds slower in terms of lap time. And I know I'm on softs and I'm on hards, so I know I'm going to catch him, but I will be in his dirty air. So what can I do from there? So can I get past him and overtake him before he ditches the hard tires? So with my strategy with a hard tire, I was only going to run it for 1 lap. But you will see that he runs it for more than 1 lap, which is also quite interesting. But yeah, so we're pushing along here and we're catching him at a good rate. So I can plan from here where I'm going to catch him is probably going to be on the start and finish straight due to the delta going down. So that's a great thing for me. So if he is going in the pits, I can go straight past him. If I do catch him, I have no problems just getting the slipstream down the main straight, the now weakened and better slipstream, I may add, and just sending it down the inside of the turn 1. Because I love overtaking at turn 1, it's the best place to overtake on the circuit. This corner here can be okay too, but you've got to follow through the fast right-hander kink before it. With dirty air, that can be sometimes quite hard too. So I'm just keeping in mind here, I've got dirty air, my tires have less grip, so I have to try and hold on to the back of his car, whether he's going to pit or whether he's going to extend his stint. At this point in the race, obviously I don't know. So I'm getting really close here, I keep the car straight as I can, I'm on the throttle, full power, and the goal is just to go for the overtake. So just to lick the stamp and send it. And that's exactly what I'm going to do right here. So let's watch. Perfect. Yep. Great move there by me. So as you can see, he just clipped my car a little bit as I was coming through. It wasn't meant to be a dirty maneuver on his part or anything like that. It was just a miscalculation on when for him to turn in, because I took the tightest and best line that I could through the corner to overtake. So no harm, no foul there, no problem. So now obviously I know I'm on the soft, I know he's on the hard, so I have to push like crazy to build a gap. Because he's on the slowest compound, I have to maximize this clean air that I have now just to try and push it and get as far up the road as I can before I go for my next stop. And my next stop will be at the end of lap 10. So 2 stints of 5 laps on the soft, and then I'll be going to the soft again. So that's another 5 laps on the soft. So I'm pretty confident at this point. You know, I'm thinking, yeah, I'm in with a shout at the win here. He still has to take the medium tire, just like I do. And he still has to take an extra set of softs. But I also understand these different strategies at the end are going to be extremely close. And either one of us could win this race, depending on traffic, accidents, and consistency as well. So it's going to be a very close battle right to the end, even at this point. As we now skip forward to the end of lap 8, we'll see how we're doing here. I've got a gap of a few seconds to P2 behind us. However, I really would ideally want more than that. So I'm quite struggling on getting these tires to work properly. But we're going to see that he's going to come off of his hard tires now, and he's going to change into something else. So the strategy is always fluid, and you've always got to pay attention to the guys around you, what tires are on, what tires you know they have to still take. So now he's going to go on the medium tire. So now he's on the medium tire phase, and that's going to be interesting for me. So I've got a bigger gap here now because he's pitted. You needed about 5 seconds for the pit stop gap. And through here, you need to really maximize your pit entry and go full speed through there. So I go on my softs again. That's my plan. It's the third stint, sorry, of the soft tires. So 5, 5, and 5. So my final stint of soft tires, and I have to push it as hard as I can. So I still come out in front of the guy, but I can't stop pushing yet. And this race, because it was so long, it was over 30 minutes in length, I got really hot and sweaty for this one. I had the sweat pouring down my forehead. I was concentration, pushing it as hard as I can. Oh man, it's such an intense hot race. So racing this game in summertime, when you're indoors, obviously, I'm not really looking forward to that part, that's for sure. So roll the softs again. We're just trying to build up that gap because of the tires that he's on now, and we've just got to keep pushing as hard as we can. So bear in mind that he has now done he's done one set of softs, he's done a set of hards, and now he's on the mediums. So he's ticked the boxes on all 3 mandatory compound sets, because you have to take all 3 compounds during the race. So after he's finished with this set, he is free to take the softest tire, which is the fastest tire, and he is clear to maximize his final stint or stints on those tires there, depending on how long he goes on the mediums. So a very interesting battle and very clever tactics. So at this point in the race, I knew that he took all 3 compounds already. I therefore knew that I had a fight on my hands, because at the end I would be going to the medium tire and then the hard tire being the slowest and, in my opinion, the most horrible tire. Obviously there's a lot less grip and everything else, so it was going to get pretty tricky. So here we go now, we're starting lap number 13, and he's in the pits getting rid of his mediums, and obviously, like I say, he's going to go onto the soft tire. So now I really have a problem. I really have to maximize everything that I've got in order to win this race, because I had to make up the 3-second gap we had between us at the start, and I also had to push further and increase that gap over him, so in order to win this. And especially towards the end, I will be on the slower tires, so this is going to be very close indeed. So here we go, this is the end of the 3rd and final soft tire stint. So now we're going to have to go to the pits as fast as we can, and now we're going to go to the mediums. So again, no fuel taken yet. I was going to leave the fuel right to the end to keep the car as light as possible and as fast as possible all the way through the stint to maximize everything that I had. So I'll come out here now, and I am just in front of him. And remember, he's on the soft tire and I'm on the medium tire. So he's one compound softer, one compound softer and faster than me at this very point in the race. However, because of the way he's pitted and the way the tires were lasting with the soft tires would only last 5 laps. So I also know at this point he has to pit again. There's no way he's getting to the end of the race on one set of soft tires and being competitive. So with that knowledge as well, I know I have to pit again, but again I'm going medium, then hard. So it's a very close and very hard battle, and all the advantage is in this guy's court. If I'm going to win this race, I have to drive the most perfect race of all time, and that's a very hard thing to do, especially when it's a long race like this. You're concentrating so hard and you're sweating. So here he goes, he's in the pits again. So this will be his final stop, and he will be doing 3 laps on the soft tire. So his soft tires are going to be very, very fast, barely worn at the end of the race. So I know that I'm going to pit on the end of lap 18, and then start to lap 19, which is coming up right now, and I'm going to go on the hard tire. And this is where I'm going to find out if I've done enough in the race to come out in front to battle and defend for position, or if I'm going to just be overtaken. So as you can see here, the wear on the medium tires is not too bad. I'm pushing as hard as I can, but on some of these corners I could have done a better job in different gears. I'll maybe show you that if I come up to it. That corner was okay, the next corner was okay, and the following one was okay, but the tight first gear, the tight left-hander, just before the final sequence of corners, again apologies for not remembering the name, I should have taken that in first gear. I probably would have been a lot faster in first gear, taking up to second, 3 quarters through the corner with the upshift as we go by a back marker there. This corner here I'm talking about, I should have been taking this in second gear all race long. I should have been taking this in first. Definitely faster in first, as we have a wiggle there as well. But again, with the 08, with the unpredictable rear end of the thing, I didn't want to spin the car out. I didn't want to risk that. So I was just trying to be careful, underdrive in a way, but try to drive it as maximum as I could without chucking it in the scenery. So with that being said, we're coming through the final chicane. I'm sure everyone loves that chicane. I'm sure I do too. And yeah, so this is our final stop. So we've got one lap to go, we've got the hard tire, and we've got to take a little bit of fuel. I think he's already taken his fuel, as I remember correctly. So he's all fueled up and everything else, he's all good to the end. So here we go. How did this work out? Let's see. Ah, look, he just got me. Just got me. That's how close that is. So again, he's on the soft tire, I'm on the hard tire, and I haven't driven a lot on the hard tire in practice for this. So this is where I'm going to kind of struggle, because A, I have no grip, and if I get close enough to him, I'm going to have no downforce either. So this is going to be slightly problematic, and at this point I'm like, damn it, the guy has won, you know, I need him to crash off at least. See, oh, just wiggles about. There's just hardly any grip on those tires because they're cold as well. They're cold and they're the hard compound, so you have a double whammy of that, and a triple whammy if you get their slipstream. So there is that too. So at the minute I'm just trying to keep it as tidy as possible, just try not to chuck off the road and look stupid and coming through. And it has been a great race, I must admit that, even if I'm not in first place right now. The strategies were really good to see. They were very different and mixed up. And me and first place here, we are miles ahead of everyone else. If you look at the radar, there's some giant gaps and everyone has fallen behind. So we were the two fastest guys in this server at this FIA event. So, and a lot of Spanish guys as well, home soil for the Spanish guys, so they're represented very well and doing very good too. So here we go, coming through the final chicane, best I can, bouncing over the curb. And yeah, I've got to say congratulations to this guy here. He's really done well to win that race. And surprisingly enough, I checked the replay afterwards and he was on joypad. So how about that? You can win FIA races with a joypad. There's proof right there, and I'm on a G29 wheel. So there we go, folks. That was a great race. I really enjoyed that. I hope you've enjoyed watching. I hope you've learned something as well. And yeah, if I find a combination I want to do next time, I will race that. Maybe make a video, maybe live stream it. Not quite sure yet. We'll see. But I got 76 points. The maximum you can get in this lobby was like 79 because it's obviously a BS lobby. So yeah. So we'll see how it goes next time, and I learned a lot from that one, and I really enjoyed it too. So I hope you guys have enjoyed watching. Thank you very much. This is TJ. Like and sub, and take care. Bye for now.